Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Welcome back. Fix. Shekoyach. So here's the put on some volume over here. On the cruise ship, Rabbi Sai top deck cruise.
None of us started with you at the Brachas. We're not going to be allowed on your cruise. So we're on our own Daf Yomi cruise, enjoying the sea, enjoying the Daf.
Guys, having the best of both worlds. The best shield, the best magic shield, with the most beautiful yam, the water. The lunacies of Rebbitzen Stefansky is also here, thinking of you, missing you. Bye.
All right, Givaldik. Rabbi Sai, believe it or not, we're starting Masechta Sanhedrin in under 30 days. We have large goals. We want to bring at least 2,000 people to Sanhedrin. Here's the QR code to join the status group. You join this group and you get different things to put on your status. All you need to do comes into your phone and then you go to that, you click on it. Let's say it's a picture. It's a video, you click on it, you go, my status, you put on your status, and that's it. That's all you have to do. People will come to the shir because of your statuses. We find, here in Eretz Yisrael, every single perek, we go to the statuses, and every single perek so far, came out every perek, without a Yosef and a klal, maybe one we missed, I don't know. We bring 200-300 people per perek, in the middle of a Masechta, just from statuses, just statuses. Tremendous numbers. And it's a big chiddush, actually, if you think about it. Back in the day, people used to join in the beginning of Shas. You missed the beginning, that was it. I think we're mechadash chiddushim about joining by new Masechta, and now we're mechadash a new chiddush, joining by a new perek. But by the Mishnah, new Mishnah, sometimes people join. But be part of this, help us bring 2,000 people to the shir, make some videos, make some noise. Hello, Rebelli. And the esteemed learners, my name is Yosef. I currently serve in the intelligence in Glilot. He's an intelligence officer. Recently, a friend recommended your program, and since then I'm making an effort to study the daily daf during my commute to and from the base on the bus. This is just a translation from Hebrew, so some funny words. Thank you for your shiurim. Your teachings are clear and illuminating, and thanks to you, our lives are more complete and spiritual. I'd like to make a small request. In recent days, I was diagnosed with something unusual in my eye. And I'm currently undergoing a series of tests. If possible, I would deeply appreciate if it can be mentioned my name. If you can mention my name, Yosef Chaim Ben Dano Devoira or Dino Devoira, for complete recovery, Refuah Shleimah, may we merit clear vision, and to sanctify the name of Hashem. Thank you. Shalom Aleichem. I was supposed to read this yesterday, but we had some technical difficulties with the internet. I'd like to thank you and your amazing staff for making learning Gemara easy and enjoyable. I'll try to be short. I started to learn with you after getting a free Gemara. I'm amazed in each and every day by your creativity in presenting sugyas clearly enjoyable. I was inspired by your 8-minute summary. I started giving my own daf synopsis in Russian to my congregation in the evening. So your Torah learned not only in Yeshiva the Shmaya on a plane by Gil, but also learned in Russian. We have a few WhatsApp groups with around 200 members, YouTube channel. I apparently use the sheets daily. See the attached screenshot from YouTube here. He uses here he is, using that picture of ours from the Gagois. Thank you and your staff for your share. Appreciate the New York traffic on my way to work, Queens to Borough Park, and even more now. Thank you for the app. You print sheets before and upload to all daf. Thank you for the WhatsApp postings. I know ASAP when share is posted. Thank you for the Hebrew share. So when you don't finish the daf in English, I can finish in Hebrew. Thank you for posting the share early. So I can wake up early on Friday around 4:30. 4:30 in the morning, he wakes up. So you can do the daf. The Russian daf can be recorded before Shachris. I would like to thank our wives for helping us learn, teach, and spread Torah Hashem. Today, the 19th of Cheshvan, Wednesday, is my father's 23rd yard. I'm dedicating Parnassa B'revach. In addition, he did dedicate Parnassa B'revach yesterday. That was dedicated in memory because you can't find another opportunity to have 30,000 hours of Torah learning Bishma anywhere else for such a price. Thank you for everything you do. Your Talmud Avner, Yunayev, looking forward to seeing you at the Shabbaton. Short-time listener, first-time writer. I joined, that's a play on that radio thing we said yesterday. He's a short-time listener, first-time writer. I joined the MDY family relatively recently for Bava Basra, Daf Beis. While this wasn't my first foray into the world of Daf Yomi, it's the first time I survived 3-day Yom Tovim in near completion of my first Masechta while doing the Daf. Thank you for doing what you do, and for the way you do it is greatly appreciated. I wanted to share publicly my Akars HaTov to both Rafi the Barber, Nostrand Avenue, and my Chavrusa, Chazam Weiss, for recruiting me to join the MDY family. I'd like to share a quick story with you. While I was at a real estate closing a few months ago, the real estate broker came into the room after all the doctors were signed. As he walked in, he looked around, and out of nowhere he said, "Good morning, Rabbi Isai." Out of reflex, to the surprise of the other attendees, I gave a big ah. The broker broke out in a tremendous smile, and we both felt like we were long-lost brothers that reconnected. MDY is more than just a shir and more than just a group of people with similar interests. It's a real family. To your credit, my children look forward to seeing me learn the daf in the house and love to join in either the beginning to chap a good ah, or sporadically to see the different animations or clips. I must confess that they've asked me several times why I listen to you on 1.75 fast speed, as they have a hard time understanding you. But for me, it's the only way I've found to be able to be consistent with the shir while balancing my family life. Listen, whatever it does, if sometimes you need to do it on 2 speed, 3 speed, whatever it is, learn some Torah. I'd also like to commend you for pushing. Rabbi Yeshua Berman sent me a beautiful 3-minute voice note last night. I don't know if he wants me to share it, but too bad. I mean, send me a voice, I'm going to share it. That's why nobody tells me anything. I'm the last one in the neighborhood to find out about anybody getting engaged, anybody getting married, getting divorced. I'm the last one because they know it's going to go on the share it like 5 minutes later. Do not tell me anything unless you know. I'm good about certain things. So he sent me a voice note. He says, listen, he was thinking about it. Why does he love learning in this base marriage? He's not part of the shir really. He's a big Talmud Chacham and he likes to learn by himself. So, he is a big part. He's here a lot and he gives shiurim here. So he said such a thing. He says he doesn't feel comfortable going to a regular base medrash, learning for 10 minutes and walking out. Let's say he has to finish Shnai Mikra. He feels a little bit like uncomfortable. Why is he only spending 10 minutes in that base medrash? The people expect him to be there for hours. In your base medrash, I feel very comfortable. So I told him, I said, I don't know if you ever heard me saying this, but a few times, Rabbi Einhorn just asked me a few days ago, he said, I need to leave. In 5-10 minutes, I'm going to leave now. So I said, no. You stay for 5 minutes and then you leave. I have zero kpei to fakert.
First of all, it's the cheers.
It's the cheers. He said, no, he thought about the cheers. It's part of his voice now. There's another place that has beautiful cheers, this, that, but he doesn't have. But the cheers do help a lot. People that leave early, Givaldik. People, when Hil Kamiansky comes with 5 minutes left this year, I give him chizuk, fakert. It's a beautiful thing. 5 minutes is 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times better than 0 minutes. If that's all you can do, that's all you can do. We pump it, we push it. Lastly, I've seen in the wilds of Woodmere, Long Island, is a attached picture. I don't have this picture, Yosef. I don't know if I ever got it. I saw while bringing my son to the doctor, seeing like something like it's a real kiss from Hashem. Thank you again for giving over Torah in an authentic and interesting way. May be blessed with many healthy, happy, and successful years to continue to be Marbit's Torah. Yaakov Shiner. Montreal, Canada. Yesterday we had a guest from Toronto, Canada, and he asked me if I could stop by while we're in America. Here's from Montreal. Good morning, Rebbe Rabbi Yosef. I was in contact with Tomer Levi and told me that I should contact you directly. As we were preparing, getting ready for the excited for Shabbos, I was just wondering if I could ask for something from you guys. Because rebellion staff are ready in the USA for Shabbos, we'd love to take MDY in Montreal, Canada to the next level. I have a shul, as well as a restaurant. I want to give the food. He wants to donate all the food. We just need Rebellion to come for one day to give the shir. This will be something to highlight in Montreal. Thanks. Yankee Gross. Kutsen Luk. I don't know how to say it. Kutsen Luk. Canada. I'm the guy that I got a bracha from Rebelli at the listen to the Rabbi say this is bad news. I'm the guy that got a bracha from Rebelli at the last year's Shabbaton, and 9 months later, Be'ezer Hashem, my wife gave birth to a baby girl. The problem is I gave him a bracha for a baby boy. P.S. I don't know what I get. The drive from New York to Montreal is about 5 to 6 hours, and my flight it's about an hour. Okay. Oh, we should start this year. Not. Kitzi says, this guy says, Barry Siegel, he says, thanks for the amazing shir that's changed my life. That's very nice from Barry Siegel. What a zechus, especially to attend the live shir every day in RBS. Where? Barry Siegel, Shalom Aleichem. When did you join us?
A long time ago.
He has a pizza store in Montreal. Yeah, I know. Hosted MDR gatherings, didn't have kids. Yeah, okay, yeah. He says in the email, he didn't have kids for 8 years. And 9 months later, is it taken 9 months? Very interesting. It's kedai to come to the Shabbaton. So he says over here, Barry Siegel, the Aguda convention is December 6th, also in the Armon Hotel. We had a very long conversation with one of the main guys in Aguda, Rebbitzen Stefansky. We had a Zoom meeting last night for over an hour. I asked him about this email. So he says they're charging $2,650 for a standard room. He says it's true. For comparison, the MDY Shabbos on December 20th is only $1,980. $2,650 for the two. What a bargain. So don't feel regret over the price. Your Talmud says, Brachas Daf Nun. While it's true, but I found out the inside. That includes also a Thursday. And we also we have a Thursday option, but it's separate. It's like another $500. So it's basically almost the same price. Thank you, but it was good. It started off good. We could cut, and then best regards, Barry Siegel. Tov, we're going to have to do this a different time. The Masechta is sponsored for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Parnassa B'revach Yosef. Parnassa Kidnovations LLC. In honor of my uncle Rebbitzen Pressman and Fishel. So the guy from Kidnovations, I'm not going to say his name. I don't think he wants me to say his name. Take a look for a second. Here he sent in this picture of Elchanan Pressman on the left and Fishel on the right. So he's just mentioning them, and he himself, so it's all three of them in one shot. So again, Kidnovations LLC, that's the guy that took the picture. In honor of my uncle Rebbitzen Pressman on the left and Fishel on the right. Should be zechus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga, who's coming to the Shabbaton Beis Hashem. A shidduch for Rivka Yehudit Chaya, who's coming to the Shabbaton Beis Hashem. And thank you to Rebbitzen Stefansky for selflessly giving up her husband for the klal. I don't think she was giving me she was on a cruise for the last few days. But she's back, Baruch Hashem. No. She's coming. Whoever thought for a second she's not. Should be a zechus for a year filled with Mazel, Bracha, hatzlacha, Parnassa B'revach and Refuah. Parnassa Yosef and Chaya, Sara for Parnassa B'revach. I'm just thinking about how they need to go on Nebuch. They need to go on cruises every 3-4 weeks now to just find the perfect cruise for the day. It's a big rachmanos. Tzvi Spero, Refuah Shleimah for Itamar Ephraim ben Chaya Blima, Refuah Shleimah. Parnassa Shavua, Refuah Shleimah for Yosef Chaim Shmuel ben Alta Nechama from his grateful family, Refuah Shleimah. Parnassa Shavua, in honor of rebellion from Naftuly Kraus at Blackbird Recruiting. Yeshakayach Godel Reb Naftuly. Parnassa Yoim. We'll just keeping there. What happened? Parnassa Yoim, Pinchas Akilov. The Pinchas. Thank you, Rebbitzen Stefansky and the whole MDY team for letting me fully catch up. And happy birthday to Eliezer Akilov on your fourth birthday. Mazel Tov. And heart of the month for zechus for rebellion and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. Boys, here we go. So I have a few questions here. That might be a big chidushim for the olam here. Big chidushim today. Has anybody ever heard of this? Kinyan Oidisa. Not people that learned this yesterday. People in general. Have you ever heard of Kinyan Oidisa? No. I didn't think so. So that will be at least one new thing that we're going to learn today. Now here's a good question. Famous story in Shas, and we're going to talk about it today. Shmuel's daughter was captured by the Goyim, and she got pregnant in captivity. And the Goy, the father, he became a ger. So she became pregnant when he was a Goy. That's Hirasa Shaloi B'Kedusha. Later on, he became a ger, and the son, the famous Rav Mori, big Talmud Chacham, he's brought down on Shas many times, was born when his father was already a ger. Does the son, Rav Mori, inherit his father, Isser Giyayra? Yes or no? No. Everybody says no.
Yes.
When you convert,
I need a yes. I need a yes here.
I said yes. I said yes.
You're all wrong. Whoever said yes is terrible.
The contrary.
It's not his father. Now here's a good one. Not his father, but they have a great relationship. He's at least adopted. He brought him up. How's your relationship, Reb Nachman? Here, you have extra chair here. You can lay down on the pretend couch. How's your relationship with your father? And you're not adopted.
I learned that. I went to Shas with him.
Wow.
Fantastic.
So you're able to make those jokes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Great. Can this father, Isig Yaira, give over his belongings to his son, Rav Mari, as a shchivra, without writing down anything in a shtar? As he's dying, he'll say, I want to give everything over to Rav Mari. Why not? You say, why not? Anybody, why not? Why yes? Anybody, why yes? The oil is scared. You're all wrong. It's yes. He cannot. He cannot. He cannot. You're all wrong. So it's a good thing you came to Daf Yomi. You would have passed in the wrong way. Okay, so we're going to learn a bunch of chidushim today. It's a very big chidush that a father, goy, who became a ger, cannot give over to his sons b'matna shchimera if I messed up. If he doesn't have any other children, this is a year, which he didn't. Ibaylu. I didn't say that. It wouldn't have made a difference. You would have got it wrong anyway. Ibaylu hektish kol nechasa ba'amad mahu. Gewaldige questions here. As we learned, we could see this 25 times because it's really important for the sugya. All we need to see is the middle line. Matna shchivmera. A guy, he doesn't say that he's dying. In his mind, he thinks he's dying. And we said that if he gives only part of his belongings, he still thinks in the back of his mind he'll survive. So therefore, it's like a regular gift and he can never take it back. But if he gives everything away, it's a terrible story. Everything. He literally thinks he's not going to survive a minute, so he gives everything away. He doesn't even have the backup option that if he survives, he'll have somewhere to go. He has nowhere. He's on the street. Then he could retract. The question is, what if he didn't give away all his stuff? He gave away all his stuff to the Beis Hamikdash. What if he sold all his stuff? What if he made all his stuff hefker? What if he gave all his stuff as tzedakah? These are the questions the Gemara is asking now. So one by one, higdish kol nechasav. He gave everything to the Beis Hamikdash. He didn't give it to an individual. He gave it to the Beis Hamikdash, so perhaps it's a little stronger. You know, you don't mess around with the Beis Hamikdash. It's hegdish. It's very difficult to take back things back from the Beis Hamikdash. It's very severe, so he gave it regardless, and he doesn't leave himself the option. Yes, he gave everything. And typically when you give everything to a private citizen, you could retract because it's understood. There's a umdana. It's understood that the only reason why you gave 100% of your stuff is because you figured that you're not going to be here any longer. But there was a big nace. What happened? Hashem came in with the antidote and you survived. So mainly you're not giving it back. You're not giving it. You take it for yourself. But perhaps no. It's hegdish. You're right. It's hegdish. But when it comes to himself, he doesn't really give it fully to hegdish. So when I was learning this, I thought to myself about the famous. It's not even a joke. It's very serious, actually. How many people that we know, they say they get into some sort of tzara. They say, Rebbitzen Stefansky. They look at the sky and they say, Rebbitzen Stefansky, if I survive this, if you give me this deal, just give me this deal, I promise you I'll never this and I'll always that, and I'm going to start doing the daf and I'm doing the chazar. And then you get the deal, and it works for a day or two, and then you say, I didn't really this, Famous Maisa where a guy, he was on a 50-story building, and he fell off the building. And as he's falling down, he says, Rebbitzen Stefansky, if you save me, I'll give $1 million to tzedakah. $1 million. He's crying to Hashem. And as he's about to hit the concrete, the pavement, a truck with a bunch of mattresses drives by, and he lands on top of the mattresses. Wow. He stands up, he says, Rebbeinu Shalom, I say a lot of shtusim when I'm in a matz of pressure. So I told Yoshi, I said, you got to do this as an animation, and then I gave him a little twist at the end. I said, but we'll finish off the story a little differently, with some dark humor. Here we go. He says, I'll give $1 million as tzedakah. Oh, wow, I'm saved. I talk shtus when I'm in belachatz, under pressure. Ding! Okay. What? But he never gave it to Egdish. That's the whole point. He never gave it to Egdish. When you have reservations of your giving, that's not giving. The giving is not a giving. You're right. Once you give it to Egdish, you can't go back in Egdish. But with reservations. I also gave you all my nechasim, and I can take it back. I guess. The point is that he has a reservation. He keeps in his mind, there's a little bit of a reservation. What if he made all his belongings hefker? There's also the ability for the poor to go bizoicha, so it's a little bit of tzedakah. But at the end of the day, when it comes to himself, there wasn't a full kinyan. He didn't give it away completely. What if he gave away his belongings to tzedakah? This is worse. He's not going to play around with tzedakah. Or perhaps even tzedakah, but when it comes on his own flesh and blood, he doesn't give it away completely because he needs to live. Skip this line. Seems like it's redundant. Omer Rav Sheishes. What if he says these words? Yital, he should take. V'yiska, he should be zoich in it. He should acquire it. V'yachzik, should hold on to it. V'yikne. Also, a lashon of kinyan, of acquiring. Kulan lashon mataneh. These are all good lashonos for shchimera. V'masnis atana. Af yachsim v'yeras, the language of Yerusha, Yeras, he should be Yeresh. So, let's pause for a second. What do we learn? We learned that if a person is moirish his belongings to his neighbor, works, it doesn't work. I'm being moirish everything to my neighbor. It does not work. Why? It's masnal mashukosaba Torah. Torah says Yerusha goes to the sons. Can a father give Yerusha to one of his sons? Everything to one of his sons. Ben Abanim. Who says yes? Rechem and Bracha. So if you use a lashon of Yerusha, to one of his sons, it works. According to Rechem and Bracha, it works. Yibaylo Daf Kuf Mem Tes Amud Aleph. Yehone behen mahu. If a person says, the Rishonim explain, stick in. The chasai leploni. My nechasim should be to so and so that he should have enough from it. He should benefit from it. What kind of wording is that? Benefit. Is that how he's taught? Did he mean he should benefit, that it should be his 100% as a gift? Or he said, you should have enough. Here, take my Lamborghini. Enjoy. Doesn't mean enjoy that should be yours. Go for a little bit of a ride, a joyride. Doesn't mean that it's his. Yirabehem. This we can understand with cars. Yirabehem. You shall be seen in it. Huh. That's all people want, to be seen in that car. Yirabehem ma'u. Yamud behem. Stand in it. Yishayim behem. Lean on it. Interesting. L'shayna is teiku. We don't know. We have to wait till Mashiach. Yibaylu. Machar kol nechasav ma'u. So this is super interesting. A guy is dying, he thinks he's dying, and he sells every little thing away. I remembered yesterday, so I'll say it again here. When my parents moved from Long Beach to Eretz Yisrael, I was about 3.5 years old. They sold everything. I said this already. My father sold the drill, he sold the hammer, everything, the beds. There's one dresser that he didn't sell. Okay, that's it. Those are the only things stuck in the house. And I remember this dresser very well because we leave Long Beach. We get in the car to get to the airport. I don't know who drove us, how, that I don't remember. But this I do remember. I remember my mother calling my father by his name. He says, "Where's Rafal?" Rafal is my younger brother. He was just born then. Okay, he was a few days old. And they look around in the car and Rafal's not in the car. They left, they didn't sell him. They left Rafal in a drawer in that there was no bed. They had no beds. They sold the cribs, they sold the beds, the mattress, everything. But there's one dresser. So they opened up the top drawer, they put the baby in the drawer. I'm telling you. If you know my mishpacha, it makes a lot of sense. So we almost left Rafal in America. We came back. We came back. If you were the Magachir, you'd mess up now. They would have to edit. Baruch Hashem. You see, it's possible to just plead us up.
Who says people don't change?
Who, him?
Look at you. You're not saying. You're doing good.
But I do, once in a while. Once in a while. Once every year.
We never have to edit anything.
That's right. So you hear the Gevaldik Shayla. It's great, this question. The guy sold everything. How much is his stuff worth? A couple $100,000. Silver, the dressers, this. There's a lot of money in there, yeah? I don't know. Maybe that's a good $100,000. There's a lot of money if you start adding stuff up. When you go through the insurance, you want to insure your stuff. All of a sudden you realize you have a lot of stuff. Your clothing, your this, your that. Jewelry. He sells everything. Is that... And then he's healed. Shalom Aleichem. He sits up in bed. Fishel koiches, he's ready to go. Could he take it back? The question is, he has a pile of cash now. It's not like he gave it away to his friend. Giving away, I understand. He has nothing now, so let's take it back. But over here, he has cash. He's okay. So he's different. On the one hand, Rav says, no, you can't retract. You have cash. You could retract. So what's going on? Contradiction. It's not a contradiction. This is also interesting. You might think it's the opposite. But the Rashbam explains, when he leaves all the cash in an envelope, that means he's saying, I think that I have a chance of surviving. I'm not getting rid of the cash. And then he could buy it back. He's leaving himself the option to buy it back. But when he thinks that this should be like the opposite, I have to look into this because it's like this chimera that he gives everything away. He gets rid of all of his money. Then he's saying to himself, I'm not going back. I had money. It's not a regular chimera because he had money. And he took, what did he do with the money? That's his problem. He went and he gave it to tzedakah. He was parei chayvus. Long time ago, I read a book. I have no idea where. I tried to find it. About a guy who had a terrible case of cancer. This is what he writes in the book. The doctors gave him like a month to live. So he said a month to live. He went, he sold his house, his cars, everything. And he did everything he ever wanted to do. He started traveling the world, the bucket list, the top nicest penthouses. He has 1 month to spend all his money. Well, he spent everything, every dime. And he comes back to America, whatever, and he has a lot of tightness on the doctor. He's not dying. Goes to the doctor, you say, I'm going to die. No, what's going on? Hurry up. The guy looks at the thing, and he says, I'm sorry to tell you, there's no cancer, nothing. So he writes a whole thing, how cancer really is in the head, and that when people live relaxed, they don't have cancer. He was very uptight and very this. Once he thought he's going to die, and he's just that's his theory. Okay, there might be some truth to it. Maybe the story never happened. It might be Shematoya. It's a great seller. Oh God, what?
With his last bit of cash, he paid for a hitman on the doctor.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that way he lives on the streets. Zero.
There was a lawsuit in England. The guy sued the doctor.
Listen, I appreciate that you're saying this. I'll tell you why, because a lot of times people come to me after this year. They say, there was a lawsuit, there was Meister Chaya. Mamish, like you said, don't tell me after this year, in middle of this year. So what are you saying? There was a lawsuit in England that a patient said that he thought he's going to die and he spent all his money.
And he borrowed also.
And he borrowed money. That is true. No. My Chabrusa told me he knows of someone that he said the doctor said he's gonna die. You know this mice. You're the one that told him. You did. He went and he borrowed a lot of money from the bank. He said, "I'm dying anyways." Okay, that's not halachically sound. But this guy borrowed money and he didn't die, so he sued the doctor. Great plan. He made even more money.
Did he win?
Nah, you don't win on those kind of things. In America, you win. In Los Angeles, he's a multimillionaire. They'll take a little bit of the reparations, whatever, and give it to him. Shmat. Zog the Gemara. Unbelievable. This, nobody ever heard. This is the first time in Shas, I believe, because I looked it up. There's one more time in 2 months from now, middle in Sanhedrin Daf Chav Tes. This idea of Kinyan Oidisa. It's a new concept. Haida. I was Maida. If a guy is Maida and he says, I don't know, this house I'm living in is not mine. Now, why in the world would he say that? He's dying. He's a big tzaddik. He's giving, he's doing tshuva. No. The thing is, he wants to protect his kids. Imagine kids. Hayoy in this neighborhood. If people found out that anyone in this room just won a $20 million Yerusha, their life is over. Forget about it. You can't get into your apartment. Staircases up to wazoo with people begging and clawing. Everybody becomes your cousin and your uncles you never knew about. They're your best friends. They're coming for Shabbos. It's a terrible life. So Mela, the father says, no, there's nothing. All my stuff is, what? Doesn't belong to me. But he's lying. He wants his kids to get it. He just doesn't want them to suffer. So now the Gemara, because of this question, if he's Maida, Kinyan Oida, and we'll see that it works as a Kinyan, Mamash a Kinyan. Here's a question. Stop, throw out a question it's mind-boggling. You want to buy an esrog from Noam Fix, and the question was asked about esrog. The Acharim talk about esrog. You don't have money. He's not there. He's not in the house. You need it right now. You want it to be shalochem. Can Noam Fix sell you an esrog with Kinyan Haida? He's Maida that the $100 bill on his table is not his, it's yours. In other words, he's giving it away to you because you can't be makna $100 on the table. It's his $100. Yeah, he has $100 next to the lulav, and you want to use his $100 to buy this lulav. He says, just take it as a gift. He says, no, I want lochem. I have to make a kinyan here. You have to give it to me. Could he say, I'm being makna you $100 on the table, it becomes yours, kinyan haida. There's no other way to do it, really. There's no, how are you going to do? He's not there. He's in a different place. He's already on his flight back to Eretz Yisrael. That's what he does. Erev Yantiv, he takes the last flight, and the guy needs a lulav right now. He needs a lulav. What should I do? How do you make a kinyan? How do you do the dairaisa kinyan? Kinyan haida. They ask him, and some say, yeah, it works. So you should just know there's something called the kinyan haida. Tashma. And here's the unbelievable story. The Isugiyara, the son-in-law of the Gadol Adar, Shmuel, the guy that sat at Shmuel's Shabbos table. Shmuel knew what this guy did to his daughter when she was in captivity, but now he's a son-in-law. He's already a ger. He's a gatinik shenoila dam. He's a brand new person. Havale Tracer Alfei Zuzah. He's a pretty wealthy person. I asked just a few days ago, but I'm sure the Olam, I asked it on the other. I said, who's Rav Safra's partner in business? It's a Giyara. This Giyara was a businessman. He did deals with Rav Safra in real estate, it seems like. He had 12,000 zuz, probably a pretty nice sum of money. Bei Rava. There's no Chase Bank. If you have a lot of money, you give it to Rava. You give it to Gadol Adar. Let him watch it for you. Rav Mari Berei says the Gemara the story. We always call him Rav Mari, and we call him after his mother. We never mention his father. We never say Rav Mari, the son of Isugiyara. His mother became pregnant when the father was still a guy, but by the time he was born, he was already a ger, married to his mother. Ubei Rav Ave. The Gemara just sticks in a side thing. You should know that Rav Mari is in yeshiva. He's a yeshiva man. He's learning Torah. And the father, Isugiyar, is dying. He wants his son to inherit the money. Unbelievable shaila. Mamish negea bizman hazeh in all times. A Jew had relations with a non-Jew. It happens all the time, especially Israelis have no musig. They go out to America, they have no idea, and they don't even care. You tell them, American Jews have this thing, no, I only marry with Jews. Israelis, unfortunately, they don't even have this musig. They're not brought up with it. We don't have the goyim here, so when they go out, they never heard of this idea. Big deal. Okay, so you have a guy, marries a goya, and they have a child. And then he becomes a Baal Tshuva. I know people like that. I have good friends like that. I have people who watch the shir every day like that. So, how do you call up this kid to the Torah? How do you call him up? The Minchas Yitzchak asks, can you say, Yamoid, the son, Reuven, Ben, Chris, I don't know what. Do you say that? Or now he has a new name, Yitzchak. Yamoid, Reuven, Ben Yitzchak. No. Oh, his name is not Avram, his name is Yitzchak.
No, his father, you call him Avram. Ben Avram.
Ben Avram. But he doesn't want to. This guy brought him up. He's his real father. Here's another shaila. Time out.
Was the kid a ger? No.
The kid is born. The kid is a ger. The kid is a ger. Yeah, kid is a ger. No. The father is Jewish. The father is a Jew. The mother is a goya. They had a kid and they became gerim. They married, happily married in Harnov somewhere. The mamisha regular mishpacha just happens to be that harasa shalabik dusha or
Not his father.
it's not. She was a guy when he was. It's not the father.
Who was the guy?
The father. No. The father's a yid. The mother is a guy. The mother is a guy. Kid's a guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not his father.
So now, here's typically speaking, if somebody adopts a kid, an adopted kid, the father brought up this kid. We don't know who's the real parent of the father. You could call him to certain things. The hatzlacha, you could say, he could mamish swear in a sefer Torah that this is my kid. He could use the lashon, this is my kid. He brought this kid up. So could you take that and say, okay, so by the aliyah l'Torah, I'm going to call, he's my kid. I'll say it with the name. So the Minchas Yisrael says no. At the end of the day, he says you can't. You can't use the name because what he did at that time was wrong. Had a relationship with the guy, and therefore even today, even though the tshuva and ger, you can't use that name. The only answer would be like Rav Nachman says, if the father, when he became a ger, called himself Avram, so then maybe the son would be able to say Ben Avram. But anyway,
There's one sheet though.
What?
So you can find another sheet that says you could call him, that you could.
And everything, yeah,
In
almost
this area
everything.
for sure.
I just saw the Minchas Yitzchak. I didn't see another shita. A lot of times they bring down all shitas and I didn't see. But okay, could be. L'chayr,
Because it's to make embarrassing.
So listen to this. This needs a lot of explanation. Omar Rava says, Rava, I have a dilemma. It seems like Rava wants to keep this money. And the question is, you read the Gemara, like, what's going on here? Rava needs money. He wants the money so desperately. What's going on? What should I do? I'm the bank. I'm holding on to the money. I know Isik Yair wants to give it to this kid called Rav Mari. It's his own kid, but he became a ger. If I should give it to him B'Yerusha, la B'Yerusha, who Machlekes Yerushalayim, who's not the B'Yerusha, but let's just say the father, since he doesn't have any other children, so he's not in the parsha, he's not in the sugya of Yerusha at all. He's not giving anything over to anyone, including Rav Mari, because Rav Mari is not his son halachically, and he doesn't have other. So I can't give it to him B'Yerusha, la B'Yerusha. Ibi matana. He wants to give it to him as a gift. The best case scenario will be like a shchivera. But a shchivera only works, you hear Rabbi say, only to somebody that's in the parsha of Yerusha. And since Rav Mari and his father, Isuk Yair, are not in the parsha of Yerusha, so shchivera doesn't work here. So when I asked you in the beginning of this year, can he give it in a matana of matna shchivera? Says Rava, no. There's no matna shchivera. In this particular case, when the father is not a person who can give Yerusha, if the father could, if he had another son, let's say, and he was giving him inheritance, then he would be able to give Rav Mari or a stranger a matna shchimera. Just to pull it, he should pull the money to himself. The money's in my house, so this kid Rav Mari cannot take the money. Let's do King Chalipin. He lifts up a handkerchief, and through the handkerchief, the money should become Rav Mari's. You cannot do Chalipin on money. Real quickly, the Dubner Maggid told the Vilna Gaon, I want to do a deal with you. So the Vilna Gaon says, I don't do deals. I'm not into deals. He says, no, this deal you love. He says, what? He says, the Rav has a Yetzirah. I have a Yetzer Tov. I want to switch my Yetzer Tov with the Rav's Yetzer Hara. What's Pshat? He says, because you, the Vilna Gaon, you learn 20 hours a day. Your Yetzer Tov says learn 20. Your Yetzer Hara says, no, just 18. So Yetzer Hara is at 18. My Yetzer Tov says, this is the magazine. My Yetzer Tov says learn 1 hour. And my Yetzer Hara says, no, a half hour. So my Yetzer Tov of 1 hour is much less tighter than your Yetzer Hara of 18 hours. So let's do a switch. Okay, so the village guy told him, no, it's not. My Yetzer Hara is really, really tough. But that's a chalipin. You take this handkerchief and you coin all the money. It doesn't work by money. Iyagav karka, lesliara. Here, the famous Kinyanaga. We're going through a lot of musagim now in Shas, even though it's a very short daf. Here, Kinyanaga means you purchase this house, and because you purchased the house, you buy all the movable objects, not only the movable objects that are in the house, but also movable objects that are in another country. Kinyanagav. Once you buy real estate, you buy other stuff with it. So let Isur Giyara, who has property, he should be makna that property to his son, and through that he'll acquire all the cash sitting in Rava's closet to his son. Says the Gemara, Lesliara. Very interesting. He has a lot of cash. He's a successful businessman. He has zero real estate. Almost like Elon Musk last year, whatever. He had all these billions. He didn't have and now I understand he has a lot of real estate. But then they're saying that, he's renting a 3-bedroom apartment somewhere in Nebuch, a little apartment. Even Mamet Shloshton,
It's a little rocket ship somewhere.
yeah, he doesn't need. He has everything in the world. Only people that don't have money need. My daughter told me this aside. When you see people walking around with Prada pocketbooks and then this, the Louis Vuitton, these are all semi-wealthy people. The really, really wealthy people, they don't go with anything. They don't need it. It's only the people showing off. Oh, look how much money I have. But the mega wealthy billionaires, they don't go with that stuff. What? Bugatti. Yeah, okay, each one with their own little stick. So, even Mamet Shloshtan, who's the Shloshtan here? If all in front of the three, who's the three Rabbi Isai? Rav Mari, Isur Giyara, and Rava. These are the three. Says Rava, I don't want to give him the money. I'm not going to show up to the meeting. Ishalach li lo yazilna. It seems like Rava was, he really wanted this money. So let him do kinyan oidisa. Let the dying person say, I admit that this money is my son's. Says Gemara, and all of a sudden, because they were discussing this halach in public between Rava, and Rava says, I can't do this, Khalif doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. Oidisa. So, like here in Israel, it's Mamash Maisa, it's Yana de Yaima. We have this firm guy that worked in the government, so he's under arrest with the mask and in a cell. They're trying. He leaked information. This is what happened over here. First of all, the 2 words here. Oidisa is in Yana de Yaima because they say that there was a race between the Americans, Russians, and the Israelis who could find this rat that's becoming extinct. It was in one of the deserts. So the Americans with their satellites and the drones and whatever, they found it within a day. And then the Russians came with their listening devices. It took them 2 days. The Israelis, after 3 days, they found an elephant. He said, an elephant? What are you doing with the elephant? He said, no. It took a whole week for the Shabak, and Lamaisa, he admitted that he's a mouse. He admitted that he's a mouse. So this guy, he leaked information, right? He leaked this valuable thing that there's a way for Rava to lose his money. Rava could lose his money if you do a kinyan edisa. Rava is very upset. There was a kinyan edisa done from Isur. Ikbad Rava said, what's going on here? Omar, he said, you're telling the tricks. Now, the Ari Shoinim, like the Ritva, like the who else? The Miri, the Miri, who say that Rava was trying to, if this makes certain people feel good, Rava was trying to do chesed here. He wanted it to be halachically his, and then he would give it to Rav Mari, and they were messing him up. They were doing it. They were trying to do the kid. Hard to understand the sugya. Some ask, what do you mean? This is what a person is supposed to get. So what's Rava trying to grab 12,000 zuz that's not his? Let him just, you want to take it. Hashem is giving me Parnassa. Taisus asks, mitzvah l'kayim divrei hameis. So Taisus goes into different reasons why there's no mitzvah l'kayim divrei hameis over here. One of his reasons all the way, it's a long Taisus, but if you look like 8 lines before the end of Taisus says, according to Rav Tam, there's no mitzvah l'kayim divrei hameis. that it's only mitzvah kind of remeis when it's something that has to do with the Yerusha. Over here, we're not even talking about Yerusha, so Mamela, no mitzvah kind of remeis. I'll call upon him. What do you see from here? You see that a shchimera who admits it works. Issa Giyara was a shchimera. He was moided that the money is his son's Ramari, and it worked. You asked me, Yibaylu, 15 lines earlier. Could a shchimera admit? Yes, the answer is yes, he could. He could use the Kinyan Haida. Kuf Mem Tes, Amud Beis, sponsored by Berkovici family, Zechus Klal Yisrael and Glenn Esterson, dedicated to Gilad Jacob Israel. Thank you for bringing the David to my life, Baruch Hashem. Says the Gemara, I really wanted to get deep into Kuf Nun over here. Okay, we'll see what we could do. We learned in the Mishnah, if a person who's giving away all his stuff, but he leaves himself one little piece of real estate, what does that tell us? He doesn't really believe that he's dying. Why did he leave a little real estate? So Mela, it's a good matana, because it's a regular, healthy person's matana, which you cannot regret. It's counterintuitive a little bit, but that's the halacha. Bekama kolshu. So it says two things here. Karka, real estate, kolshu. When we learned the halachas about prusbul, if you own a prusbul, if you own karka, you can do a prusbul. How much karka? One pin's worth. Bekama kolshu, om rav yidom rav, karka kadei parnasasa. Over here it's different. Enough to support yourself. Sometimes it's a lot. To support yourself today from real estate, you need a lot of real estate. One unit is not going to do it. Now he sticks in a thing. First of all, it's not kolshu. Kolshu means kadei parnasasa. It went from being one pin to being 100 apartments. And then not only real estate, but even vehicles and all sorts of movable objects. Oh, it was perfect what they said. Because let's look at the logic. Why do you need a little bit of real estate? Because if he survives, he's going to rely on that real estate. So he'll have what to live from. So do of his movable objects. If he survives his disease, he'll be able to sell it and live off it. Mazel, Yosef, why is it so perfect? It's not perfect at all. Look at the top words of this Amud. It says shir karka. Doesn't say metal then karka. And then it says kolshu, even a small amount. Mandomar metal then karkatnan. It says karka. Mandomar kidei parasasai, that you need that much in order to survive. Kolshu tnan. It doesn't fit into the words. So first of all, you're going to start nitpicking the words over here. When it says karka, it means everything. How? I can prove it to you. If a person has a slave and he says, this has nothing to do with the shchimera, everybody say. This is a regular person. Person says to his slave, and I know, I heard this from Mendy, from other people. People think about it. If somebody doesn't have any children, and he has a dedicated slave. That's a slave that's with him for 40 years, bathed him and everything. So you're going to give your stuff away to your neighbor? You give it to the slave, why not? You have a relationship. He gives everything away to the slave. However, shir karka kolshu. So you give everything away to your slave. What's included in everything? The slave. So the slave becomes free. But what if he left himself one piece of karka? He said, I'm not giving away. This little piece of karka, the halacha is shir karka kolshu lo yatsa ben chayr. Why? Because of the famous hekesh hukshu avadim lekarkais. And why? It says in the pasuk, it's nachaltem oisam, referring to a slave. You shall give to the next generation the slaves achuza. L'resh achuza. Achuza is a lashon of zdei achuza of real estate. So they have the same halacha as real estate. So this guy's tricky, super tricky. This master. In fact, it's very mean what he did. He tells the slave, "You see these millions, you see these mansions. It's all yours besides one piece of real estate." What is he telling him? In fact, he's telling him, "Here, besides you." No, but besides, you don't. I still keep you. So who gets the mansion? Who gets the millions? The slave. Oh, but we have a problem. So the slave gets it, but then in fact the master gets it because anything the slave acquires, the master gets. So what did the slave come away with? Zero. See, he got his hopes really high. You get everything, besides one little piece of karka, which means you don't get anything. Terrible.
Sorry. Marcus Lehman, Itamar. The story about the...
It's in the Medrash Tanchuma.
Famous story, right?
Medrash Tanchuma says that...
Marcus Lehman has a whole book about it.
Marcus Lehman was my son-in-law's grandfather.
My wife's.
Are you saying the Medrash Tanchuma? I'll say it over and tell me if this is what it is.
Yeah.
That the Medrash Tanchuma says that a guy was dying and he had a slave and his son was far away. So he told the slave, listen, you could have all the Yerusha, just tell my son he can have one thing. And he went and the slave said, okay, I'm not going to steal any. That's not worth it to steal because I'm getting everything. Just let him pick one thing. He'll pick the candelabra. And the son picked the slave. And once he picked the slave, it included everything. That's the story. The Medrash Tanchuma, yeah. So says the Gemara, Reb Shimon Oimer Loilam hu ben choyer a whole book out of it. Interesting. Itamar. Reb Shimon Oimer Loilam hu ben choyer kol nechasen esun leploni avdi. Reb Shimon argues, if you leave real estate, you meant to leave real estate, one piece of real estate. But this trick works. Kol nechasen esun leploni avdi chutz me'echad meriba shebem. If you say, I'm giving you everything besides 1/10,000. Again, 1/10,000 I'm leaving for myself of anything, not karka, of metaltalin, that includes the slave. Because slave could also be metaltalin. He jumps on both chasanas. On the one hand, he's karka. On the other hand, here, they did a little bit of a thing. It's in Hebrew. I hope you understand. Basically, the slave is a tough guy, and he's trying to force the owner who's learning Gemara, Daf Yomi. You have to understand that. It's missing some parts, I think. But here's the guy learning Daf Yomi on his right by the pool.
אדוני הנכבד, נראה לי שתיתן לי את כל הרכוש שלך במתנה. או, למה? טוב, אבל אני אשמור 1% בשבילי.
I'm going to leave 1% for me.
10%?
10% of
100%?
100.
אוקיי.
Because he's learning Gemara, he knows how to do it. Okay, wink, wink. If you know the hatzlacha, you know the hatzlacha. So says the Gemara. So since he didn't explain what exactly he's leaving over, maybe he meant he's leaving the slave. This is the middle of the riot, so we can't stop here. So again, if you look back 4 lines from the bottom of the Amud, it says shir karka. If he left real estate, then you keep the slave. So now comes Rebbe Elazar and says, no, even if you leave, not only karka. Karka is not dafka karka. It means also metaltalin. So what do you see? Don't nitpick the word karka. Karka can mean other things as well. So now we're sugi also l'chayra. So what does that mean? Again, so we learned this halacha. I'll just show you real quickly. Here you have a couple that's married. Yeah, couple's married. And there's property, and the father gives all the property to his sons. And in front of the sons, he tells his wife, I'm going to give you a tiny piece of real estate. So she's moichel or ksuba. She cannot collect the ksuba from the karka. Why? We had a whole sugi about it. She was there. She's present. She didn't make a mecha. Fine, whatever. But if you left her a car, it doesn't work. That's only karka. So the Gemara says, no, don't bring a raya from here that karka means everything. Because in fact, it was supposed to say mefurish everything. The reason why he used the word karka is only because to make it similar, that should mimic the first part. The what? Hasan Bedinu, the listening karka, it shouldn't even say karka. It should have said metalton. By us, it says karka and it means karka. Over there, it doesn't mean karka. Why? We know this already. That if you have a tiny piece of land, you have to bring peah. Here, peah is the corner of the field you have to leave for the aniyim. Ubikurim is the first fruit. Anything from shivas haminim, aretz, the thing closest to that is the bracha. Great. Again, if you have a tiny piece of real estate, so you're talking about karka. These only apply to the field. You can't say, if your car has bikurim, cars don't have bikurim. It's only karka. You need karka to do a prusbul. To buy with the kezer. That's why it says the word karka, but it really means metaldim. But by us, it really means karka. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.